Hello and welcome back. So today I will show you that how you can make your asterisk connected to your database by ODBC. So for that we have to install few more dependencies, like the main dependency is RPM, and this was the only dependency which was creating problem while I was trying this ODBC connection. So it is now installed in my system. You have to install it by making use of apt-get install RPM. And after this we have few more dependencies like apt-get install Unix ODBC dep and Unix ODBC and Unix ODBC bin, and then so these are the few more dependencies which you would be needed for ODBC. And once all these are installed, you have to reconfigure your asterisk, because if you have not installed this dependency, then you will see when you will make type make menu config, then you will see three crosses, uh, three crosses in front of res ODBC, func ODBC and all. So that shows that some dependency is missing. If you will see any three cross in front of any of your dependencies. So once you have installed this RPM, then you have to move to your main directory of asterisk, and inside that you have to do configure, and after this configure you have to do make menu install, make menu config. So once this will finished, I'll show you each and every step. After this /configure is run successfully, you have to do make menu config. And do remember that by doing all these things like configure and then make menu config, then install and make, your zip.conf file and extensions.conf file will be deleted, and the by default version of those files will get stored in that. So it's better you take the backup of those files if you have made any changes in it. So now inside make menu config, you can see these are the some files which are showing triple cross in front of them. So as presently we don't need these files, so no need to do anything with them. And here I'll show you that func underscore ODBC, this. So now it is showing a star, that means it is selected. If it shows triple cross, then it simply means that the dependencies which are needed by this function ODBC are missing, so you have to install it. And as told by me, I don't think that any more dependencies would be needed for this func ODBC. So simply save and exit and then make. Once this make will work, and after this you have to make install. Now make install, and after this make samples, and we are good to go after that. Now make samples. And now let's see what are the changes made by this. So move to extensions.conf file, and here, as you can see, it is the by default file. So all the content of this file was deleted by performing those steps. So we will create this again, as I have to show this only ODBC, so I will not create the whole dial plan again. I will simply write few things. ODBC, and then now what we have to do, we have to create one variable. Let's name it as dial, and set this value ODBC, and then your context name dial 2, and then in comma dial, to whom we have to dial, that is sub/set peer name, which will get stored inside this dial variable. So this much you have to write here only, and yes, this would be the function, so don't forget these parentheses. Let's save this, and now let's create our zip peer again by editing zip.conf file. In this file, just move to the bottom and add these lines, your peer configuration, one peer, and then context, and then allow, and secret, and host. These are the 5 parameters which we have to fill in. Context would be phones, allow, ulow, and alow. Secret would be 1 2 3 4 5 6, whatever you want, and host should be dynamic. And then copy this whole thing and paste. This would be for other peer, that was test1. So these things we have configured for our zip, and our extensions also configured. Now we need configuration for our ODBC. So for ODBC we have to edit these files, that is ODBC inst.ini, and inside this file you have to write these things, the driver, and these things only. So the other thing is ODBC.ini, and inside this ODBC.ini we have to write these things. And to remember this context, we have to make use of this in ris.odbc. Oh, sorry, ris_odbc.conf file, and here you have to insert your IP and here database name. That's it. Now let's move to ris_odbc.conf file, which is inside Asterisk ris_odbc.conf, and in this ris_odbc.conf we have to add our own. We can remove all this and create our own settings here. Enabled equals to yes, and DSN name would be, as I told, asterisk connector, and then username and password. This username and password you have to create for your asterisk. So as you know, MySQL is making use of root user. So for our asterisk we have to create the other user, because it is not good to use root user for asterisk also. And then limit would be any limit, and then pre-connect equals to yes. So these are the settings for REST ODBC. And last file would be funcodbc, and all the queries and all you have to write inside your funcodbc. And inside this funcodbc, move to the last line, and you have to write here your own query. This would be the context name which we have used in our extensions.conf file, that was dial2, and this is the DSN name which we have written in our REST ODBC. So DSN would be asterisk, and then read SQL. You have to write your query, that is select. We have our database as asterisk, table name, calling table, and we have to select call number column, this. So select call number from calling table, select call number from calling table. So this query will return the output in this variable, and we have made use of this function, so it will return that to our dial plan. Now as I told that we used these things, that is username asterisk and password asterisk. So how to make it also, let me show you. So login as root, inside your MySQL, and you have to write few commands. So you have to write create user, and then username, that is asterisk @ your IP, identified by password. Create user failed, as I already made this user, so that is why this is showing this error, because we cannot create the same user again. So you have to simply write this command, and after that grant permission to this user. For this, write grant all privileges on our database is asterisk database name, and every table of this database, so star 2, username would be asterisk @ localhost, identified by password. and once it's all done, then for checking, login as that user which you have created. And if you successfully gets inside your MySQL, then it means that your user is created. And to check whether that user has all the privileges or not, so write any database name which is created inside your database. If you are able to access that database, then it means that you have all the rights. As you can see here, I can access my database, that is Asterisk, and then select a star from. My table name is calling table. So calling table. As I can access and write all these commands inside this user, so it means that all the privileges are granted now. Now, as you can see, our ODBC is configured and our database user is also configured. So let's check that this will work or not now. Save show peers. Both the peers are not connected. Let me connect mine. Service unavailable. Okay. Now let's make a call to our 100 extension that was defined in our diagram. Okay, context not found. And do remember that whenever you make any changes in your func ODBC or res ODBC or any of the ODBC files, you have to restart your Asterisk as well as MySQL service by using this service MySQL restart. And then service Asterisk restart. If you will not do this, then the changes made by you inside your ODBC will not be reflected and your code might not work. Now let's move inside our Asterisk console. See our peers. Both the peers are connected. Let's make a call. 404 not found. That means there is the issue because uses extension of one context. Okay, so there must be the other extension name and extension number. Okay, so this is 1. Let's change it to 100. Now inside our Asterisk console, do Dialplan reload and make a call to 100 extension now. As you can see, it made a call to ODBC and then it got this variable from database and stored it inside this style variable, and then it called to our test1 extension, that is not doing this. So we have successfully made a call to our Twinkle extension, that is test1, by making use of database and ODBC. And you can also do this task by PHP, which I already have told you, but if you don't know PHP, then you can make use of this ODBC, as this will also do the same thing. And in next video I will show you that if you are behind NAT router or any router and you are making use of this asterisk server, then sometimes you might get error that your asterisk server is not able to connect to any of your peers when they are not on the same network. So for that, there are some settings which I will show you in the next video. So thank you guys, and if you like this video, please subscribe my channel AntiConfusion. Thank you.